Tony Yayo just crashed out on Fab, and yeah, it got messy fast. He flat out questioned why Fab would ever diss 50 after G-Unit helped keep his career alive, and the tone was straight disrespectful. This wasn't a sneak jab either. This was Yayo letting it fly with zero filter, and it instantly turned nasty. Tony Yayo finally broke his silence, and the way he framed it had people looking sideways. He popped up on a podcast, pretty sure it was The Brilliant Idiots, with Andrew Schultz sitting right there, and Yayo wasted no time speaking his truth. No sugarcoating, no backtracking, just raw talk. Once the topic hit Fab, Yayo leaned all the way in. He questioned who really took who overseas and made it clear that 50 heard a hit, saw the potential, and opened doors. According to Yayo, that move wasn't mutual. It was leadership, not the other way around, not even close. So when Fab throws shots now, Yayo sees it as wild behavior, dissing the same person who took you across the water.
That they saying is better than Banks wanted to sign to our label,
right,
and we took him overseas. He didn't take us overseas. 50 took him overseas.
Yeah.
So when you make a diss record about him, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, 50 does a lot for people, but then people always seem to turn on him.
Oh, really?
That's how I feel.
And helped elevate your name looks crazy to him. That's the energy Yayo brought, and the internet definitely caught it loud and clear. Listen, this debate has been dragging on for years, and it never really dies.
They saying is better than Banks wanted to sign to our label, and we took him overseas. He didn't take us overseas. 50 took him overseas.
Yeah.
So when you make a diss record about him, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, 50 does a lot for people, but then people always seem to turn on him.
Oh, really?
That's how I feel.
Oh, well, that's...
For instance, when
This didn't start with one podcast moment or some recent distance. This Fab versus Banks talk has been floating around forever, and everybody knows it. For over 20 years, people have been arguing nonstop, breaking it down from every angle, and the noise never fades. The question stays the same every time. Who's better, Fab or Banks?
Let's go.
Well, that's...
For instance, when DJ Khaled is hot, what do motherfuckers do? Stand next to the fire. I'm gonna go get a Khaled record.
That's every industry.
We didn't have the same advantages because of the hate. So let me give you the perfect example. A lot of Fab's biggest records are with features. Other people wrote the record, and he's featured on it. Did he do a good job on it? Yes. When you go to Karma and all the records that Banks has, he wrote the hook that Avant made. Joe, he wrote the hook. He wrote the record. Fab's biggest records are features, brother. And then you want to talk about J and M?
But Fab...
M sold 16 million.
Yes.
What are we judging artists on? You want your artists to be in clubs like me? Because it's cool, I could do. Or do you want them to be in arenas?
Yeah, arenas. You want it with the nail painted? Or do you want them to survive at Rikers 2-3 years?
On.
But objectively, Fab is nice.
Come on.
Objectively,
I'm
he's
not
nice
saying he's
rap.
not nice.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely nice, but I feel Banks is better. A lot of...
Some swear Banks borrowed Fab's style, others flip it and say Fab took notes from Banks. You hear one side saying Fab outshines Banks, then the next side saying Banks runs circles around Fab and the split stays heavy. Now here's where it gets spicy. Only one of them ever earned the PLK title, and that crown belongs to Banks. No debate there. But does that automatically mean Banks had the better overall career? That's where things get tricky and opinions start flying. If we talk catalog, it's hard to ignore that Fab stacked more records over time, and that part is obvious. But if we switch gears and talk pure bars, lyrical pressure, and straight competition, Banks clearly takes that lane, no hesitation. Right now, if money hits the floor, I'm riding with Banks every single time. I'm putting it all on Blue Hefner because I trust what he brings when it's time to rap. Fab losing his mic edge feels distant now. Meanwhile, Banks has been showing sharp form recently, and that matters. Gap in momentum right now is loud and clear. Honestly, Banks has only gotten better with time when it comes to bars. No debate about that at all. I'm not even gonna front. His pen sounds sharper now than ever, and that growth is real. Fab is still hungry though, still talented, still has the skill set he built his name on back in the day. So I'm not counting him out completely. That said, if it comes down to it, I'm still putting the house on Banks every time. I'm just keeping it real, no funny business. But let's keep this moving because the context matters here. Now pay attention to what's going on. I'm not sitting here saying Banks has a better catalog than Fab because that's a different conversation. But there's been talk for years that Fab wanted to sign with G-Unit and it never happened. Allegedly, 50 brought Fab on tour, showed him the world, even took him overseas first, and that part keeps coming up again and again.
His biggest records or features, a lot of Banks, the hottest in the streets. And the reason why I give you these examples, because Fab was on our tour, buddy. And Fab wanted to sign with us, buddy. So who's better?
This hurts being from Far Rock.
So who's better?
I love both
They
of them.
always try to take away
Both
from
of them.
50. Get Rich or Die Trying. It's like 25 years later.
Yeah,
He
you
does
can't.
more shows than anybody.
No, you can't.
Your
Yeah.
favorite rapper can't get a Live Nation contract.
Come on,
Your
Yayo.
favorite
Jay-Z,
rapper.
Jay-Z.
Come on, Yayo.
Your favorite rap. Jay can with Beyonce and everybody else.
No,
But what I'm saying
Stop
Is that
it.
a
your
world
favorite,
tour?
your
Get outta
favorite
here.
rapper can't.
Or is that your
Yo,
girls'
look,
tour?
look,
Come
yo,
on,
your
bro.
favorite,
Come on.
your favorite rapper can't turn down $8 million.
50's not in the
Exactly.
Epstein file.
Yeah, exactly.
50's not in the Epstein
Listen,
file.
look,
Exactly.
Eminem could turn down $8 million, bro.
Yes.
You done seen that? Eminem turned down tours, bro. They'll be like, yo, we give you $300 million, $400 million. Nah, I don't want to do
good.
that.
Yeah.
Way back.
M's in my
With
top
Haley,
five.
Whether all of it lined up perfectly or not, the optics don't look great right now for certain voices trying to flip the story, especially coming from those podcast corners trying to downplay history. So when it comes to this Banks versus Fab debate, let's be clear. If we're talking catalogs, I'm leaning Fab, no hesitation. But if we're talking bar for bar, pure rap skill, lyrical pressure, it's not even close. Banks wipes that conversation clean every single time. And I'm being straight about it. If you haven't heard recent Banks, don't jump in the debate. If you haven't checked his latest work, don't speak on it. There are levels to this. And right now, Banks is operating on a different floor entirely. It's levels to this, and right now, Banks is locked into full battle mode. Fab, I honestly don't know what mode he's even in right now. If this turns into a straight bar-for-bar matchup between Fab and Banks, it's not close at all, and that's just reality. And don't get it twisted, I respect Fab's older work heavy. Fab has classics, no argument there. You go back to those old mixtape days, and there are real moments, real records, real impact. But when it comes to pure bars, Banks has more classic performances because he never stopped sharpening his pen. His level only went up over time. Fab, I don't know where you're at right now, and that's not hate, that's honesty. You're nowhere near where Banks is operating today, and that's just facts. This isn't bias, this is observation. Right now, touching Banks lyrically is not happening. Let's be real, most people can't deal with Banks at all. Only a very small group could even stand in that space, and that's being generous. Some people disagree, but that's because they're not really listening. They're reacting, not paying attention. And this whole thing turning into I hate 50 talk misses the point completely. Nobody's hating anybody here. It's just calling it how it looks. What's obvious is 50 isn't jumping into rap battles anymore, and that's fine. He's focused on business, movies, shows, and building an empire. That chapter is closed, and that's the truth of it. Does 50 still do concerts and pop-outs? Of course he does. He shows up, does his thing, and keeps it moving. But don't expect any diss records from him, because that chapter is done. He's not jumping back into that lane at all, and that's just reality. Now salute to the people in the chat saying, Banks is more consistent, because that's a straight fact. Banks has been delivering better music lately, no debate. Yeah, Fab has dropped new projects too, but let's be honest, none of that feels like prime Fab anymore. It's cool, it's listenable, but it's not that peak version people remember. Banks, on the other hand, didn't just pass his prime, he surpassed it. The level he's rapping at right now puts him on a whole different tier. He never stopped working, never stopped sharpening his pen, and it shows. His bars age like fine wine, and not everybody can say that. Most rappers don't get better with time, they fade out. We've seen it happen to legends, real legends, and that's just how the game goes. Age usually catches up, skills slow down, and the spark disappears. Take LL Cool J as an example. People still treat him like he's untouchable, but the truth is he fell off early. On 4, 3, 2, 1, his verse isn't even top 3 on that track. There were stronger verses all around him, and that's just being honest. You could even line his verse up next to Master P's on the same song, and the gap isn't what people pretend it is. This isn't hate, it's perspective. Not everyone ages well in rap, and Banks is one of the rare ones who did. If you know, you know. I was outside for those eras, and I remember them clearly. It was a great time, no doubt about it. But the truth is simple. When rappers get older, they usually go one of two ways. They either fall off hard or they level up and get sharper. Some artists still got it though. Jay-Z is still like that. Black Thought is still like that. Jay Electronica is still dangerous with the pen. That's a special group, and not everybody makes it there. Then you got Andre 3000. He might not want to rap anymore, but even in his later years, his ability is still insane. Even when he steps away, the respect stays high. You just have to be honest about that. Now people bring up side stories and start changing the subject, but that's not what we're talking about here. Physical stuff doesn't matter in a rap conversation. This is about bars, pen work, and lyrical ability. When it comes to LL Cool J, let's keep it real. He's an innovator, no doubt, and his impact on the culture is solid. But lyrically, at a high level, that conversation ends quick. He doesn't rap on that elite tier, and that's just facts. Calling him one of the greatest lyricists ever is a reach. That's nostalgia talking, not honesty. Nobody seriously ranks LL at the top when it comes to pure lyricism, and pretending otherwise is just forcing it. Respect the legacy, but don't rewrite reality. Because, let's be real, he's not really a heavy lyricist like that. Yeah, he beat Kool Moe Dee back in the 80s, and during that era, LL Cool J was definitely that guy. No debate there at all. The 80s was his run, his moment, his spotlight. But once we move into the 90s, LL isn't who you're checking for when it comes to wild bars and pen pressure. He became the ladies' love artist, and that's cool. That lane worked for him. He leaned into the smooth records, the R&B vibe, and that's fine, no shade there. And yeah, physically, he might still be strong, might still be intimidating, but that has nothing to do with lyricism. Being tough doesn't make you a pen monster. That's a completely different conversation. If we're being honest, he lost to Cannabis, and that wasn't even close. Cannabis cooked him, plain and simple. It happened, it's documented, and it is what it is. People don't like admitting it because nostalgia gets in the way. Most fans side with who they grew up loving, who feels familiar, who they're comfortable defending. That's human nature. But honesty matters more than comfort, and that's all this is. Now, bringing it back to Fab versus Banks, the answer doesn't change. If money's on the floor, I'm riding with Banks every single time. No hesitation, no apology. If you want to go against Banks, that's on you, but don't act shocked by the result. Fab isn't touching Banks right now, and that's just how it is. There's nothing Fab is doing to Banks right now, nothing at all, and I'll stand on that. I can back it up too, no hesitation. A lot of people just don't like 50 Cent, and that's really what this comes down to. Some folks just love hating on Queens, and honestly, I don't care. That's just how it goes in New York City. New York never really likes New York, and that's been the case forever. There's always tension, always rivalry, always sides being taken. So when people act shocked by New Yorkers criticizing other New Yorkers, it sounds fake. People saying this is dividing the city are missing the point. The city was never unified like that to begin with. From day one, it's been competitive, rough, and everybody fighting for position. That's the environment, and it's not changing because of one debate. That same energy applies here too. History is history. 50 took you overseas, opened doors, and put you in rooms you weren't in before.
Signed to our label,
Right.
and we took him overseas. He didn't take us overseas. 50
Right.
took him overseas.
Yeah.
That part is not up for debate. No funny comparisons, no disrespect, just facts about how things played out. And yeah, Fab is Fab, nobody is denying that. But Banks comes from a different cloth, more grounded in that gritty lane, and that's where the separation shows. That street pressure, that edge, that consistency, it all matters here. That's why this argument keeps coming back to the same conclusion every time. All right, listen, I hear what you're saying, but that take isn't right, and I gotta be honest about it. If we're talking street background, Fab actually moves way more in that lane than Banks, and I'm not gonna disrespect him by pretending otherwise. No spinning, no bias, just facts. Nah, don't get it twisted. This isn't me saying Banks is soft or anything crazy like that. Banks isn't trying to be involved in street situations at all, and that's by choice. But Fab has always been more connected to that side, and that's just real history. People get this image in their head and run with it, but that doesn't make it true. Fab has always known people, been around real environments, and moved a certain way back then. If you actually listen to older Fab, especially that early gritty era, you hear exactly what time he was on. I'm not talking about right now either. Times change, people grow, and priorities shift. But back then, Fab was definitely active in real life situations, and that shouldn't be ignored just because it doesn't fit someone's narrative. Banks stays focused on music, bars, and craft. Fab balanced music with a different kind of pressure in his earlier days, and that's part of his story whether people like it or not. There were moments that made headlines and conversations back then, and anyone who really followed knows what I'm talking about. I'm not getting into details, but those situations added to Fab's reputation in real time. So yeah, bar for bar is still Banks, no debate. But when it comes to street credibility in their earlier years, Fab was definitely more involved than people give him credit for. That's just honesty, not disrespect. And don't forget, years back, Fab and Paul Kane were involved in a real situation that made headlines, and people who remember that era know exactly what time it was. I'm not going into details, but that moment stuck for a reason. So if we're being honest, back then, Fab was definitely more involved in street situations than Banks, and that's just the truth. Not today though, let's be clear about that. They're both older now, both pushing close to 50, and priorities change with age. At this stage, I highly doubt either one of them cares about street nonsense like that anymore, and honestly, they shouldn't. But overall, historically speaking, Fab was more active in that lane, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. That doesn't take away from Banks at all, it's just calling it how it was during that time. Now look, Fab is older, wiser, and focused on life, business, and music. Nobody at that age should still be trying to prove anything in the streets. That chapter is supposed to be closed. And this is where it gets goofy sometimes. You got people pushing street images way past their time, and it just looks off. Seeing grown men still acting like they're in their 20s doesn't hit the same. Even real OGs will tell you that growth is the goal, not staying stuck. I've spoken to people who actually lived that life, and they'll tell you straight up, they're not trying to promote that stuff anymore. Respect comes from evolving, not from repeating old mistakes. So yeah, salute to Fab, salute to Banks, and salute to everyone who made it out and grew up. That's the real win right there, and that's the conversation people should really be having. Come on, champ, you pushing close to 50, still talking like you're stuck in the early 90s? That energy looks wild now. At some point, you gotta tighten up and move smarter. Trying to relive old colors, old corners, old images at that age just doesn't hit the same anymore. This isn't even about disrespect, it's about reality. Staying healthy, staying focused, and staying out of nonsense should be the priority now. Being posted up outside old spots like nothing changed looks off when life already gave you a lane forward. Let the younger generation do what they're gonna do. You don't need to be emotionally invested in every situation popping off around you. When you got a salt and pepper beard, crashing out or cheering chaos just isn't the move anymore. And let me be clear, I'm not promoting any of that lifestyle at all. I've seen it up close. I know people who lived it, and even the real OGs will tell you the same thing. Growth matters more than old reputations. Moving on is the real flex. At a certain age, you gotta stand on wisdom, not drama. That applies across the board, no matter who we talking about. Evolution beats nostalgia every single time. Now with all that said, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with Tony Yayo's take? Do you think Fab should have stayed quiet after 50 helped take him overseas early in his career? Or do you see it completely different? Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe to Dripzine if you rock with real talk and honest breakdowns. Support a small content creator by clicking the hype this video button too. It helps more than you think. I appreciate every single one of y'all for tapping in.